Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Welcome back to Side Quest Podcast. My name is Matt.
I'm BJ.
I'm Luke.
Welcome back. Hey, you've been probably seeing a lot of our YouTube shorts, and we appreciate all the views on that. And, people have been subscribing because of it, but there's still a lot of people who aren't. So, help us out, It motivates us, it encourages us, and...
Here's also motivation for you guys, because if you subscribe, we will have to say this less.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the more of you that subscribe, the less we're going to have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a reward.
You're the problem.
Yeah, it's y'all's fault.
Yeah.
It's the 90% women
It's you,
viewer base
not me.
not wanting to commit like they always do.
We love women.
Yeah, we love women.
I'm sick of you all.
BJ's on his incel arc.
I'm buying a fedora tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Oh, like Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's done white knighting. You can fend for yourself.
That's right. MGTOW.
So this is the last podcast before MTech, which is awesome.
It's literally in as a time of recording this, it's in 2 days. So Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So extremely excited. It's like all I talked about on Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, well, let's just kind of jump right in. I desperately want to. There's a cord that's hanging down. Is that a USB cord just hanging about?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess so. The levels look fine. I was like, is something not plugged in?
You want me to check?
No, because when
It
I'm
is
talking,
a USB.
yeah, but everything we're registering on all four of the inputs are. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're so professional here, by the way.
Guys.
So I texted Luke and BJ, it was Friday or Saturday?
What was the text?
I said two things.
Oh, that was, let me see.
I think it was Sunday, actually.
Was it the one text bubble that I went, oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
what we're doing on Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because I was literally in the middle of rolling a burrito when you texted, and I went, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, sick.
This was yesterday.
Probably while I was at work. So, okay, yesterday, not even over the weekend. Yesterday, I said two things. One, we should watch the Judge Dredd movies because those were recommended to me by, I don't even know who, if it was Nick. It wasn't Lee. I asked Lee, and he was like, no, I didn't say that. So it's either Nick or Ezra that said that.
I feel like Ezra would fuck with Dredd.
Well, because
you know what I mean?
the other thing is, we were talking about the remake of RoboCop and how we love the original, and the remake is stellar, and none of them had seen it, which I think is pretty accurate. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen the remake.
I mean, it didn't do well.
What was it?
So.
We said 2014, 2015?
I think it was 2014, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those 2 years.
Damn, it's been 10 years since that.
Yeah,
That's
looks
weird.
great.
Yeah, that was
looks
actually
great.
really good.
I mean, there is some. So I rewatched it last night in Discord just to watch it with the boys, and there are things like CGI wise which look weird. Mostly, it's when he's running, but at the same time, I have to remind myself he's a robot, so he's gonna run weird.
Yeah.
He weighs probably
fucking 2 tons.
Yeah,
running through,
700 pounds, and he's. But
I mean, the fucker in the first one was doing full on robot moves and this.
Yeah, but he was made out of mostly sheet metal also. So he couldn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So all that was him having to act like a robot.
But so I said two things. We should watch the Judge Dredd movies on Tuesday. And also, I hear that Moonrise, which is a Netflix original anime, I've heard really good things about it. BJ and I started watching last night.
Yep. It's incredible.
It is phenomenal.
Nice.
And this is also coming from a guy who like will see like all these new animes that drop, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and I don't have the emotional energy to like try to
actually sit down and
and try to get into something new, unless it's like Devil May Cry, like something that I have a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
When it's just a random new thing, I'm like, okay, like I don't have a reason. But I heard that like the person from somebody from Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I think one of the like directors for the anime is a part of it, and also somebody from Attack on Titan, because it's also done by Viz Media. Viz Media. And it's really good. It's really interesting kind of plot. They've done a lot of like flashbacks. I mean, they show you in the very beginning like 3 minutes of like action scene, and then it cuts back a bunch of times, and then we only got to where
the first episode starts
like after episode 4.
6.
Oh yeah, probably 6, because we're on 8.
Yeah,
so around episode 6. And it's really cool. The sound design's really well done, but multiple times BJ and I've had to stop, like pause where we're at, and I'm like, this is just like
Gundam.
One of them looks like
one of them looks just like Winry. There's a guy that looks just like Izumi's husband. There's one guy that looks exactly like Kimberly. And and I was like, oh, this is
Full Metal.
Yeah, I was like, there's clearly some like, and I don't know if it has anything, if it's just anime being like, oh well, a lot of anime is gonna look similar.
Maybe it's just that guy being like, I only learned how to draw these guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, there's the Full Metal Alchemist like manga artist has another manga where the main character is another blonde kid, this time with spikier hair, but I'm like, that's just Ed. Like that's just, it's just taller Ed. That's all. I was like, that's what it is. Same eye structure, same like face structure. I was like, yeah. So like some artists just have a style that they just resort to.
And like it's like hard to now like stack up animes against each other, especially when you have like these other companies where now like One Piece episodes are like $1 million to make an episode.
Yeah, and they copy My Hero Academia.
We'll touch on that in just a second, but like it's hard to like see that, or like other things, like I mean like the My Hero movie, and seeing like, oh, like it's my mind goes like, okay, do they do impact frames? Because if they don't, it's not cool. But like the Lazarus one has really well animated movement, and so it's you see these other things that like everyone's like, this is peak because of how cool and great the impact frames are, and then out of nowhere we got like some insane impact frames in Moonrise, and we're like, oh, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. But it's really, really well done. They have really this like technology where they can like shift. They can essentially like shift material into different things. Mm-hmm. So they'll have like a pistol, and they'll turn into a rifle, and then they'll turn into a dagger. And I know we're gonna get some other crazy things that are gonna get turned into.
Yeah.
But very cool. Highly recommend. Check out Moonrise.
Yeah, for sure. It's great.
But speaking of, I saw on one of the reels or TikTok a clip from the newest My Hero episode, which had like the beginning of a fight between Luffy and some other dude, and it is identical to the fight with Deku and Dark Knight. He literally does the thing where he turns midair and then kicks, turns into a little ball of energy, and then impacts. And I'm like, this is like almost shot for shot.
Yeah,
My Hero, and I was livid. I was so pissed.
You know what's gonna make you even more pissed is the One Piece fans are gonna go, yeah, but it was better. Always,
dude. It's, I don't know that I think out of all the fights we've gotten, the best one has been the one in this most recent movie, like visually.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that.
I mean, World Hero Missions, that end fight was pretty amazing.
I think the fight, there's something, because it's anytime they use "You Say Run," we'll always make it hype. But like the fight at the end of Heroes Rising, where it's still Bakugo and Deku, like there's a lot more. Like to me, like yeah, it's like cool. Like the fight you guys showed me, which I still haven't seen the movie, so I just see visually, looks cool. There's something about like the emotional fight where I'm like, I much prefer like if you're talking just like
just visually,
then like yeah, that one's sick as hell. But like I definitely like.
Oh yeah, I mean clearly
All Might versus like All For One, where he then like at the end he points and is like you're next type shit. That's still one of my favorite fights in the whole show.
I think the
Endeavor
one in World
with-
Hero
yeah.
Missions is the least like emotionally like it has
Yeah, the villain has not been in the movie like the whole time.
at least in Your Next
like Dark Might's been a
it's
thing.
Dark
the whole time,
Might,
yeah.
and so it's like
And obviously there's personal connections
yeah,
with that.
yeah, and they're trying to avenge the
inherently.
image. Yeah, so there's that. Nothing.
But visually,
Baller.
yeah.
Baller fight.
I mean that
Absolutely.
moment still where it's like him just like punching, starts slow.
But
and
I do
speeds up.
love
Yeah.
that in this one he switched over to his feet because he can't really use his hands anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he shouldn't have been able to use them in World Hero Mission.
But they just said fuck
Yeah.
But they were like, nah, he's going to punch.
it. No, they're like this is too fire.
He's gonna punch so hard.
I think I've gotten to a point where like with a lot of shonen, and it's with every single one of them, My Hero included, where like after a while, like you have this huge cast of characters, and you're like, oh, I want to see all of them do really well. Then by like the end of the manga or end of the thing, it's like here's like the 2 or 3 that actually matter, and they're the only ones getting the cool shit now.
Not Naruto. You get to the end of Naruto,
be fair,
and they're
guy
like, hey,
gets-
the guy with the bowl cut is the only guy
Yeah.
that can win.
To be fair, yes, but like there were still moments with Naruto where it's like, oh, do you want to see Sakura do anything cool? Well, tough shit. Do you want to see Ned like?
That's because
Neji.
Sakura's never been able to do anything cool. That's her whole character.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem though too is it's
just
like
whines
they
about
set it. They
everything.
set it up well where it's like, oh, she's training under Tsunade, so you're literally gonna get like.
she complains about everyone
the
else
next-
and then doesn't do anything to change
Yeah.
anything.
Facts.
Yeah.
At least Hinata had the balls to face off against fucking Pain by herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. 100%.
And people are like, I don't understand how Naruto and Hinata actually got together. There's no chemistry. Shut the fuck up.
Well, they made a whole movie about that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go watch it.
There was so MTAC has been doing I think it was 2 days ago, probably, or Monday. They did like, hey, like send us photos of sneak peeks at your cosplay and doing all that. And then today they did like, we're just gonna do like a poll of you know what our interest is for like the goers of MTAC, and one of them was like Naruto or One Piece, and it was majority One Piece, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Idiots.
I mean,
and then there's a bunch of other ones that was like Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, and
That one must have had an interesting result.
I mean it was mostly Demon Slayer.
Wow.
Demon Slayer is like the go-to, like probably one of the biggest of the
it's
new
the
age.
normie anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like JJK got big, but like for anime fans and like weirdos. Demon Slayer was like your mom could watch it and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's aunt is cosplaying Nezuko.
So,
You like whereas JJK and then like Chainsaw Man, all these other ones that came out, it's like, yeah, you got to have a little bit of something going on here.
I did
to
see
enjoy
one
it.
guy when they were like, show us a sneak peek of your cosplay, and it was just most of them. It's like they show like a sword,
Or here's
or
like a
wig,
glove.
wig,
Yeah.
or like one of them was like. It was. I mean, some people are just crazy about cosplay, which I know is a thing. But like, they just showed like the picture of their schedule, which was the person that they're gonna cosplay as, and it was like 2 a day, and I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
you'd be shocked at how many cosplayers do that.
I saw so many of them, and
Like
it was
they'll dress
one-
up like different characters.
Yeah,
per
so they
day
showed
type
2
shit.
characters.
That's why they have to stay at
Friday.
the hotel so they can at lunchtime go upstairs, put on a fucking Princess
Yeah.
Peach dress.
There were so many of the not Peach, it was
Daisy,
in that orange. Remember that?
the orange one.
Good.
Yeah,
Daisy's the queen.
yeah.
And I'm glad people are finally figuring that out.
But there was one though that made me laugh really hard, and it was him with a gray wig, and then it had, and then in the corner it just had a bust picture of Cosma Kiryu, and then I was like, that's I don't know. It just made me laugh because all these are
I bet
like.
it's the same guy that goes every single year that always cosplays Yakuza.
Dude, no, I think it was a different dude. I'll show you, but it just made me laugh because of
Yakuza 8 Kiryu though would go crazy.
It was.
Yeah,
He was
like
old man. It's the gray wig.
Korean hair.
But it just made me laugh because it was like all of these were like sneak peeks, and he was like, he just put his wig
He's
on.
already
and took
wearing
a
it.
picture. Yeah. I'll pull it up. It was so funny.
It's ironic that like Yakuza is such an easy thing to cosplay.
Yeah.
Mute that. I'll get to it. Where is it? Oh, I like this one.
Hell yeah.
Lot of eyes. Oh, there's a Vash. So yeah, there's the schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and then oh, it's coming up. I remember it. Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just there he is. He's so curious. He's so.
He's something.
He's something. That's for sure. So. Yeah. It'll be a good time.
Speaking of My Hero, we also watched the first episode of Vigilantes.
It's good.
It was good.
Vigilantes is actually
It
like,
is
really
very
good, though.
more. It's like what I noticed is they're doing a lot of the.
Comic book stuff like pow punch. There's like more like lines and areas where it's like, look how cool. Like you could pause this show in multiple areas and it would be a comic panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it way more visually interesting than the main show.
Well,
When you're just in a random scene.
Well, and I think that was a good, smart thing to do to differentiate it, because it was just it's My Hero stuff again, because like they're definitely drawn differently too, which is I think helps.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're drawn the same.
Well, like it's this.
I mean,
like,
it was it looked like I mean, when it showed Deku's mom, I was like, looks. I mean, everything looks visually the same.
I think if you put like, because they're different art like directors and like artists behind the two. And Vigilantes manga does, like, you can tell it's like it's off if you were to compare like All Might's design and that versus the main one, but it's like it's enough. There's enough similarities for sure, but like there's like a way that My Hero characters are drawn. It's kind of like almost not boxy, but like there's like a weird like angles to them that isn't in Vigilantes. And it's like the eye shapes and like certain things like that, where they like in like Deku's hands are like very like almost like thick and like boxy almost, whereas you don't see that in Vigilantes. But to be fair, I think it works because like all of Vigilantes has that kind of which fits for the vibe of they have like an edge to them. Like everything in My Hero is like that kind of comic book, like, oh yes, like this looks like a Superman comic, whereas Vigilantes feels like a Batman or a Daredevil comic, which fits. I like it though. Vigilantes, when I read it, was actually really, really solid as a manga. And whenever this was announced, I remember texting BJ, I was like, "Oh fuck, we're actually getting it."
Yeah, and I'm glad that it's finally actually like coming out.
You know what we haven't talked about is Devil May Cry. Watching the anime. Did we talk about it last week?
I think we did.
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Well, if we didn't,
How did we not? Because
I feel like we did because we'd watched it on the weekend and then Tuesday. We might have mentioned it.
Yeah.
We didn't go too deep into it.
I guess
maybe.
not.
That episode just isn't out yet, so we can't check.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, if we did, you're gonna hear it twice.
Yeah.
But Devil May Cry was good. We're the odd man out in that we like it. Apparently, though.
Yeah.
Although again, we had problems. To be fair, Lady.
It was
is the
really
biggest
only
thing.
Lady though.
The thing is, like, Lady, it's a weird thing because like it is similar to how she acts in 3. The difference is there's a very clear like arc in 3 that's finished. This had a hey, prepare for part 2, season 2, like the cliffhanger.
Well,
That I think that's where a lot of her change is going to happen. Because like she sees, the vice president as like a terrible piece of shit guy, and all this stuff, but it's not enough to waver her enough. But then probably, them bombing hell and taking it over, and to the tune of American Idiot might change her mind.
So Cody and Ezra were watching it in Discord, and it was really funny because they like finished it in a day, and I was like, "How did they do that? It took us so."
Because they don't have ADHD.
And I
Yeah.
realized that we paused.
Many
I'll take ownership.
Me and BJ
I
commented
paused
a couple
it.
times too. To
I
like,
paused it so many times
Yeah.
to just talk about random shit.
we started watching TikToks in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were also
it
insanely drunk.
it made me laugh. Being like, at first I was like, how did they watch it the whole day? And I was like, oh, that's why.
We started like watching TikToks and it was really funny. And then after, I think you were the one who goes, we have to watch the show.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is on me.
No, but I mean,
So.
I really like the show. I mean, it's I think it's better than the reboot, which is not hard.
That's not hard to do. But
Yeah,
Rudy also felt the same way about Lady, though. He was like, this is...
That is, even people who like the show, that is their biggest gripe is Lady. Too many cuss words in every sentence, every third word.
I mean, overall, I liked her arc. I just didn't like the cursing and the, oh, she's a bad bitch.
Also, I have to say this because I've seen people online talk about this. I do not think that Lady is irredeemably a piece of shit. Some people are saying that because she shot innocent demons coming through a portal. She didn't shoot them immediately. She was like, "What are you doing?" Because she saw a human with them. She's like, "What are you doing here?" Like, we're escaping.
Then the rest of the team started firing.
Well, no, and then the big monster came in that was like, "Oh fuck, that's dangerous. Fucking shoot!" And it's like, I don't know. To me,
that's a lot of cursing.
Yeah.
It's also not that bad because at the end of the day, they are fucking demons.
Even if they're like nice demons,
Yeah,
it's like there is a level.
To be fair, like that's where
if your whole life you've been accosted by demons and demons are fucking up society, and then you see demons, you shoot the demons.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I would think in the video games, which is the basis. It's the text. It's the original source material. That they do not cover good demons.
They do. It's just not nearly as like big as that.
Yeah,
like,
it's never that prevalent.
For Devil May Cry,
Okay.
good demons are like few and far between. Like Trish is a good demon in the games. I guess technically Dante and Virgil, but they have human blood, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying,
yeah.
what frustrates me is like what they did in Rings of Power, where they're like, we're gonna make orcs have like family, and we're gonna give them, make you feel bad about them. I'm like, they're fucking orcs. They're creative.
They're bred from evil.
They're bred from evil, and they only do evil.
Hey man, those orcs that I had in Shadow of War were my homies. All right,
sure,
I love them all. Those are my boys. No, to be fair, you're right. Like it does have the same feeling. I think for me though, because Devil May Cry has that weird nebulous of like. Demon, like Sparta is a full-fledged demon.
To be fair, though,
who then
in Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, you're not a good person either.
No, yeah. To be fair, Talion is kind of an asshole and
you're
kind of
not
a piece
a good
of shit.
person. So having orcs that like you is not
a good thing.
It's not good. They're like, you're really good at war and killing people.
It's like, yo, this Talion guy, super cool dude, and you're like, fuck.
I have breaking news from Nintendo Music.
Oh.
They just put tracks from The Legend of Zelda for the NES on Nintendo Music.
Woo!
Stop using your dog shit proprietary music app, put it on fucking Spotify, and stop using that dog shit news app that you created. Just put it on Twitter. Nobody gives a fuck.
What BJ said.
Downloading.
And let me pre-order the fucking console, you assholes.
Downloading Nintendo Music right now. This changes everything.
Yeah, for the 8-bit sounds of original Legend of Zelda. They've got like 2 GameCube games on that fucking service, which is where the music is started, where it's actually listenable.
Yeah, true.
I like some of the 64 stuff. Very much. That varies though, depending on the game by game.
Yeah, but like all the 64 stuff is rare music.
That is fair.
You can't listen to that on Nintendo services.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like Super Mario 64 has some of it. Although to be fair, like Donkey Kong Country.
Having good music and want to listen to it like while I'm working are two different things.
I would
like
listen.
like the soundtrack of Mario 64. Do I want to listen to that while I'm working? Probably not.
I mean, as someone who's had Sega Sound Team as my number 1 listened artist of Spotify 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but like
the Yakuza soundtrack is always
but
on
Yakuza is music.
I'm not in my top 10. None of them are any of the karaoke songs. It's just boss fight themes. Like,
but those also have ripping guitars.
Oh no, they do. But like, it's the same thing. Where like, I listen to like boss fight music a lot. It doesn't matter what game it's from. Just like, this is cool. It could be from an old fucking video game, like fucking Ocarina of Time. I don't know.
I can listen to Kirby songs all the time, but the problem
Sonic is pretty good too.
Yeah,
but
Sonic's
also,
always-
Sonic
but I
bang.
agree with you. It's all from generations that are GameCube and past.
Yeah, I mean,
For me.
Yeah, fair.
like Sonic 3 for me is where it starts.
Michael Jackson's Sonic 3 soundtrack
yeah,
is
Lava
banging.
Reef Zone bangs so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But like, even if I do want to go on there and listen to my favorite Kirby songs, it's gonna fucking suck because I have to close out of Spotify to do it.
Yeah.
I can't just go Meek Mill and then
Meek
Kirby.
Mill to Kirby Air Ride.
The biggest, the largest. Kirby!
Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
I
I mean,
go
that
hard in the morning.
when Square Enix finally just said fuck it, here's everything on Spotify. It was like the best thing ever.
Yeah,
When did that happen?
2018.
Way too late.
Yeah, it was like
Whoa.
it was like late. Like I feel like they announced it at a Game Awards.
yeah.
That's what because I remember it being a big deal where they were like, and now announcing Square Enix music is on Spotify. We're like, fucking finally. And then immediately I just went in and was like, all right, I need to hear like Jack's battle theme from Final Fantasy X, and then we're good. Or just any of the Dissidia soundtracks. That weird it's in the credits of Dissidia, but it's that like almost Evanescence like rock song that I don't remember where it actually plays in the game, but I'm just like, why is this here? This is the most like out of place bit with like remixes to the classics, and then just here's some like edgy early 2000s like rock song.
See, I mean, I've said this before, and I know that this is you guys like will agree with this sentiment in like certain aspects of other games, but you know, like how you'll play a game sometimes out of order, and then you're like, this game is gonna ruin the rest of the games for me because it's not gonna be as good as this, because you try to get into something and everyone's like, yeah, go with this game. I know a lot of you will be like, no, I'll play the first game, but there's definitely been games where you've played where you'd be like, this is clearly the peak.
I mean, that was me with Final Fantasy. Like, we obviously got in through like Kingdom Hearts clearly, but then like I got in on the PSP through Crisis Core, which was like a 3D action game. Then I immediately went to 4, which is a turn-based game, and there was like definitely a little bit of a learning of like, oh man, this isn't what I kind of wanted out of that.
Yeah,
I did end up liking 4 a lot, but like,
yeah. I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's not as much for you guys as me, because I actually just think that you guys are a lot more open-minded when it comes to games, and are also willing to play like different styles of games especially when it's coming to like Japanese style games, which are a lot of them going to be turn-based, and like a lot of them will be 2D and 8-bit style or 16-bit kind of stuff. And for me, I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, which is again on me.
it's just
But
it's different flavors. Just different tastes.
With Metal Gear Solid 5, I love it so much. I told PJ multiple times, I go, if I could think of the perfect
Thank you.
recipe of a game, I think it's I really do think it's the perfect recipe. It has like my favorite aspects: open world, stealth, and like base management. I absolutely love it. I love it so much, and I go like it's so sad that there's not like all the other games aren't like this.
Well, do we know? Like, you would know this more.
Well,
than
the other
me.
games are finished. Like, you can play a game and finish it and have a complete story. So I don't know if your point stands.
No, but I'm saying, like the other Metal Gears aren't like
they're not open world games.
open world
with, like,
and base management.
Right, but they're finished video games, and Metal Gear Solid 5 is not a finished video game.
True,
I mean,
but
it was intentionally split into two parts.
I mean, I also just said that it's
Yeah.
not like the best story. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's the aspects of the game systems.
as a
is
game
maybe
to
perfect.
play is really, really, really.
It is.
fucking
It,
fun,
it might
yeah.
be the perfect game system because it's just all the things I love. And I mean, you were saying like the physics engine of that game walked so that Breath of the Wild could run.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just like game system wise, it's just incredibly polished.
It's one.
Everything feels so good in that game. Every single thing I do, I go, this feels incredible.
It's one
The
of the.
only thing that feels bad is when you're on the horse and you're trying to steer it around rocks, and sometimes you're like, no, come on.
That was me with Devil May Cry, because like I got into the series, like I knew about it, and I was a pussy as a kid, and when I tried to play it, I was scared because it's based on Resident Evil. But when I actually got into the series, it was with the reboot, and I can sit there and tell you everything wrong with the reboot in like a giant 3-page essay, MLA formatted, citing all my sources.
Gameplay's great though.
I still fuck with that game so much.
Yeah.
Because it got me into the series, and so I have a soft spot. And yeah, the gameplay is really fucking good, really fluid, everything there. And yeah, the story, cringe. Absolute dog shit cringe.
So far,
But
again, I haven't played this game and it feels like years. I mean, this is back when I got my Xbox when it came with Games for Gold. When they had that thing.
No longer anymore, which sucks, but because PlayStation's doing that and their service too, so
it's like, they'll be like, oh, here's a game just because you have Xbox
fuck
Live
it, here's
Gold.
a free one, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, tight, and I beat it then, and I remember nothing about it for some reason. Probably because I didn't know it was a whole thing, like
You
a whole
saw,
series.
like, oh, cool stealth game. Oh, it's the 5th one. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Or it probably was just Metal Gear Solid V. You probably didn't know. In your head it was like 5. You were like, oh, fuck it.
I mean, in a way, it is V. It's not 5 at all.
but like replaying it now, having asked a lot of questions and learning a little bit more about backstory of it from BJ, like I also think the story so far is really good.
It's really good, except you get to the end, you're like, wait, that's it?
Yeah, you get to the end and it stops and doesn't conclude.
Yeah. Like in that, because I'm pretty sure, didn't he get fired before the game released, or was it the game released and then they said get the fuck out of Konami?
Well, they were like, you're fired, and then he was like, all right, well, let me stay on to at least get this to a point where you can put it out.
Yeah, because then he immediately went to do Death Stranding.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I still think you like the books. I
bet the book would be much better.
just because it's just the story.
Yeah, because I don't have to hold it up on a control stick for 12 hours.
I mean, so you know how in what's the game? Oh, in Witcher, how when you're on the horse and it'll like
Hold A and it just will run
and it'll
by
just
itself.
follow on the roads. Like I wish they had shit like that
Dude, okay.
in Death Stranding.
I will like, dude, the newest like AC games have a lot of problems. Them copying a lot of shit from Witcher is not one of them, because that was one thing when I was playing. I was like, oh, the horse will just, let's fucking
Yes,
go.
100%.
I was so like, yes. Although, to be fair, the one that I like that Witcher still has, like, you kind of have to steer him a little bit.
Yeah, it'll come to a crossroads and it's a 50-50 chance which one he goes.
AC, you can say follow road and set your controller down and walk away, and the horse will just go like on autopilot. I'm like, that's kind of boring. But yeah, no, that's still such a fun quality thing. Where like, because besides Red Dead 2, I don't think I've played a game where the horse actually feels good. It's just another clunky movement thing, because nobody wants to make the horse just, I turn left and it starts to turn left. It's like a weird, like, well, it's going to start leaning to the left.
No, I mean,
like,
that's the clunky thing in Metal Gear that I have such a problem. I was like, once I get G-Dog,
the horse is dead.
Going to the glue factory.
You're done for, D-Horse.
Dude, no,
and because you'll do a thing where it's like you go around try to get around a rock, and then you like turn, and then
he gets clipped on the rock, and
then and then you'll have to do a full 360 and then go back the other way, because once you turn past this way, you can't turn back.
You can just immediately U-turn.
Nope.
Like, I know
then he just stops.
I know it's not realistic. Let me fucking Tokyo drift on that fucking horse, okay? Like, seriously, when I want movement in games, I understand realism and like somehow that's really immersive for a lot of people, and it is for some games. Red Dead 2 is one of them. But there are times where I want
there
games.
has to not be a lot of horse people that are like sending complaints. You know, so like shoot, all these horse people, we got to make sure that this is realistic with the horse.
But then Elden Ring with Torrent is not realistic at all. But
It's
I feel
the best
like it's
feeling
the
horse.
tightest and snappiest horse controls.
Because the horse can double jump. I don't give a shit about anything
and he
else.
can stop on a dime, unlike every other horse in video games where he goes 3 extra miles.
Yeah, can you just say in Metal Gear that this horse is tactically trained to stop?
Yeah, train the horse.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
The dog has a knife, a little knife that he can take out and kill people.
I love the animation
Dude.
when you say kill him, and he goes and then he makes the, and you hear the knife like the
Shing.
shing, yeah, you go shing, and you go,
Dude, D-Dog is the best
little
fucking thing
animation.
ever. No,
It's
dude,
so cute.
animations
Love
can
that.
sell a game so much that like it could easily be like, I'm not doing
that
much
animation of Stephanie Jostin's feet soles
in what?
in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, quiet? No. Okay, yeah, I was like who? And I'm like, okay, yeah. No,
Yeah, when she's in her cage and you can see it all. To be fair though, I just got to the part where I picked up Quiet, and now I'm going to capture Emmerich.
Have you seen the moments where like you're in the helicopter and she just starts like staring at you, just gets on her stomach?
No, because she's not a companion yet.
Okay, yeah, no, dude. Some of the loading screens, I'm like, you told an actress to do all this. You did like all this to go.
She streamed it one time and she was like, yeah, they did a bunch of weird scans of my feet and like I had to do all these weird compromising positions.
But the scene though, once you like capture Quiet and she shoots the pilot out of the jet, I was like, this shit is so peak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so cool.
Metal Gear has that in like all the games where it's
and
like
Miller
it's the
was
most
like, fucking kill her right now.
She's not setting foot on this base.
No, and then she like jumps down and then she like disappears and then shows back up and then Revolver Ocelot was like, it's okay guys, it's okay. And Miller's like, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Revolver Ocelot's, I think in 5 specifically, is one of my favorite characters.
He's pretty great in all of them, except for like 3, because he starts out as a little bitch.
I mean, to be fair, like the only thing that's like tight about Miller is like, I mean, actually not much so far, but Ocelot the whole time is tight.
Ocelot is the homie the whole fucking game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get to the end of 4 and he's like, come on, Snake, let's fight on top of this fucking blimp and just fist fight each other and hug each other a lot.
But yeah, loving Metal Gear Solid 5. Absolutely adoring it. I'm sure I will be pissed at the ending because of how much I love it so far.
I mean, it's the sad Metal Gear 5 is like a double-edged sword because it's such a great game that you get to the end and go, I'm never gonna see the ending.
Yeah.
And then knowing that Survive is technically the sequel pisses me off.
But it's not even a narrative sequel.
No, it's just you see the destruction of a base, and then Big Boss like grabs your arm and is like, just stares at you, and then you fly away, and he's like, ugh, and that's it. And then you're like, you're in a new world, and it's weird, and there's like weird techno zombies and shit. You should survive. Yeah. Also, pay $5.99 for a new save file. Fuck Metal Gear Survive. That game was awful.
Yeah.
I think I got that for free on, I want to say it was PlayStation Plus. That was the only reason I know how that game works. Because I was like, I mean, fuck it, it's free. And then I played it and I go, damn, I wish I didn't even have this in my game library.
Speaking of open worlds, new Switch 2 controversy just dropped.
Uh-oh.
Everybody's currently mad because the Switch 2 versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom don't come with the DLC. And what I have to say to that is if you don't already have Breath of the Wild, its DLC, and Tears of the Kingdom, fuck you. You have no right to complain.
I mean, there isn't DLC for Tears of the
There's
Kingdom.
not for Tears.
There's not.
Yes.
For Breath of the Wild,
so
there
it's
is.
just the one.
It's the one where you can get the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bitch about, oh, I have to pay $1 billion to get Breath of the Wild and the DLC and the upgrade, you don't have to pay for the upgrade if you buy the Switch 2 version already. So it's just a flawed argument. People just want to be mad.
I do think there is a precedent that has been set where, oh, here's the next, like, the bundle editions that have all come out later. Like, we got, I mean, granted, there was no DLC for either of them, but, like, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD were both, like, what, $40 on the Wii U? Or were they 60?
You know, technically there is DLC for Wind Waker that you had to pay for. It was the cord to your Game Boy.
Oh, for like
because that technically is like new content that is in the game that's only accessible, but you had to have
Tingle's treasure trove or some shit. Yeah.
Tingle time.
I guess, but like I can understand being like upset because apparently at the time of this recording, the Oblivion remake got like leaked, some pictures where it's running in Unreal Engine 5, all that kind of shit, and apparently they're doing the same thing where you can buy the base game or the deluxe one that's going to come with all the DLC included. So they're going to have vanilla and regular, or vanilla and Game of the Year edition versions of that. And I can understand that being like, why are you selling the DLC again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean,
especially when
they should have just remastered it and put it in the package.
Yeah,
but it is a new version of the game. This is just an upscaled version of a thing you already have. And if you're in a position to be talking about it at all on the internet, then you already own all of that shit. and it transfers over. You just have
Yeah, I
to
was
pay
gonna
the
say
$10.
like well, case in point, you and me have Switch Online. We're not paying dick, so we're gonna get them for free anyway.
Right.
You get them for free with
Breath
Switch
of the
Online?
Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you have Switch Online, you get the upgrades for free. Not all of them. I do think that would be a really good incentive for Switch Online. If you got Switch Online, the upgrades are free.
There are games that are coming out with free updates though.
Yeah, apparently, I think they said Mario Odyssey, Hyrule Warriors 1,
Xenoblade
or
X. That
X.
shit is not paid.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are getting one, which, thank God. Still not gonna play it again.
Still not gonna play like a video game.
It'll just run at 60 frames, but with the still choppy, like,
Yeah,
awful
Pikachu's
draw
not gonna
distance.
pop in until you're 2 feet in front of him.
Dude, no, okay. That was the craziest, like, game experience I've ever had in my life, where I'm like, brother, I'm like from me to that table, and I got to, like, where BJ is, and then a Pokemon popped up in the grass. I'm like, this 2023, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Granted, Legends Arceus did that, but not nearly as bad. Like, dude, Legends Arceus is still their best thing they've put out in fucking decades.
True.
Pretty much since Black and White, it's been downhill. I'll
agree.
say that. But yeah, I think I'm just waiting for the pre-orders for that because I do want to Switch too. But I really want it, even though I could technically get it for Switch 1. I want to play Metroid Prime 4 with the highest frame rate possible, which is apparently 120.
Metroid is always the benchmark for Nintendo shit. When the OLED came out with Dread,
Oh yeah.
dropped the same day.
Dude.
Playing Dread on that thing was like, oh my god, this is the future.
Dude,
The
no,
future's here.
the first time I put up my OLED and put in the cartridge, that bright, vibrant red on just the little icon, I was like, oh, oh, it's gonna be good. So yeah, I'm excited. The Switch 2 hopefully will be good. I'm definitely I'm worried about the game card thing. It's better than just having a physical case you can buy with a code in it, and you can at least share this
But
with people.
it's discretionary. It's how it's always already been.
Yeah, I mean, at least I can share this with people now. Like, I can hand you the game card. You still have to download the thing, but you can at least play it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not necessary whatsoever. Cyberpunk 2077 is all on the cartridge. If they can fit Cyberpunk onto a fucking Switch card, they can do.
I mean, what
That's
is
the
it
thing.
based like on the Xbox? Is about like 89
80
gigs.
Yeah,
So they've compressed that game enough that it's fitting on a Switch cartridge. Which is, I think the Switch 2 carts are what, 50. So they were able to not only that, it's Cyberpunk and Phantom Liberty are on the cartridge.
You
So
don't
the
think
whole
you don't think they're doing the thing where it's like half of it's being installed?
well, that's
like,
what the game card thing is. Like,
You don't think they're pulling anything from the web to be installed on your Switch?
not for
and
Cyberpunk.
updates and shit.
They'll
Maybe
do updates and everything.
But like it's
all on
the
there.
same thing. Like with the Switch, I can plug in like the Witcher 3 game cart, and just I'll be offline and start it. No updates, no downloads, no nothing. I just press start and it
But you
goes.
don't think you're gonna have to download something immediate, like right when you put it in?
If there's an update that comes out like the day of, then you will.
But and they have said that the build that was at Nintendo, like the events, is an older build, so it should run better. So they're probably gonna push an update the day it comes out anyway.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with anything. According to Nintendo, if it doesn't say virtual game card, everything's on the card. So you can turn you don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi, and you can plug in the thing and play. That's what.
Even when you first put it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what. Now the virtual game card is what you're talking about. Where no, they're gonna start downloading
Well, I
stuff
mean, like,
immediately.
because like a lot of the stuff, like, well, not now, but back in the day, it was like half and half.
Well, to be fair, that's the case now. Like some games, like Jedi Survivor on the PS.
Starfield.
Well, I was gonna say Jedi Survivor on the PS5. It's one disc, but it's 100-something gigs, so 50 gigs are on the disc, and then it downloads the rest offline. Same with, I think Starfield did it. I think AC Shadows did it. I think Baldur's Gate didn't do it because Baldur's Gate gave me 6 discs.
Out
And
of
I bought that shit.
when I was streaming Metal Gear on my PC. I've been going back and forth from my PC to my Steam Deck for Metal Gear. I was telling Cody that I had like the collector's edition because I was like, oh man, I loved that game when it came out. Like, I wonder because I never had a collector's edition anything, you know, and so I was like, that would be a cool first one to get.
Kind of feels good to have it sometimes. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and I was like, so I was looking at it, and then I opened up the box, and the only thing with the box is there's the Diamond Dog logo on the front, and it had fallen off, and that's why it was cheaper. And I looked at the back as I was telling him all this, and it was just like hot glue. And I was like, so I used the hot glue gun to remelt the hot glue that was on there, and I just stuck it back on. I'm like, it's fixed. I mean, it has all the plastic. And when I open it up, I forget that it has a steelbook in there. And it's a tight as fuck steelbook.
Did you show me the steelbook? Because I think I might have.
Yeah, because remember we opened it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
we
was
did
like,
open it,
I'll go
yeah.
grab it.
You have the extra DVD in there too.
Yeah, dude, I'm about to. This is my wheelhouse. I get to gush for a little bit, dude. I love collector's editions. I know it's a bunch of bullshit plastic shit in a box. I don't care. Sometimes that shit is tight as fuck. That Kratos statue is one of my favorite statues I own from that because it's so sick. Yeah, like when they do shit like that where it's like a designed box, like that's cool. I don't care. I love box sets. I love statues, or in the case of the Metal Gear, the fucking Snake's arm. I love that shit. Oh, yeah. Tight as fuck.
Tight as fuck.
Yeah. Legitimately such a good steelbook.
Such a good steelbook.
What's on the back? The back one?
Ocelot and
Oh, yeah, so it's Ocelot and Snake, but with the...
Yeah.
And then the other side is them normal.
Miller
yeah.
and Big Boss.
Genuinely...
And
Yeah, the
with
DVD.
a DVD. Not the game. This is a movie.
Yeah, because remember you got it and you were like, it doesn't come with the game, and then I opened it up and I was like, oh, you got the special features thing.
Yeah.
I
Forgot all about that.
I know, like I was telling BJ while you're out there, I know that like buying collector's editions is a waste of money. It's just a bunch of plastic and a bunch of shit I'm never gonna touch except to look at occasionally.
I was trying to find clothes in my parents' house the other day, and I opened my closet and I found this old like North Face type jacket that I had that I'd sewn a Diamond Dogs patch onto the shoulder
I
of.
love that. Well, you do say collector's editions are a waste of money. But there's times where I think no, because if you're just into the resale market,
Well, yeah,
because then it's like I wish I got in on that Starfield one. I wish
I have it.
I know.
I don't have the steelbook with the credit shit, but I have the watch.
But if you got the container with the watch that went way up, dude.
It did. Okay, I got it for like I think $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Space Marine 2 was a huge one. That sells now for like $600.
I wanted
Because it comes with the statue of Titus with the xenomorph, not Tyranid, thank you, with the Tyranid in his hand, and that
statue looks sick.
And for a little bit, like it was probably like 4 or 5 months after, they're like, hey, we're making new collector's editions.
Just fucking sold out immediately.
And they're like, which just never happens. Never. It was. I think it was. They were just reselling the statue because they're not doing the whole like. Because the collector's edition is like you get the game and the thing. They're like everyone has the game. If you want the statue,
it came with the gold edition of the game with the steelbook, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm probably not gonna get the collection edition. I wanted the steelbook, but that was also sold out, so I didn't get that. And so I just got it.
Just
digitally.
I think they just redid the statue, which is tight that they would do that.
I think some of my favorites of like those collector's editions have still been, and it's not a collector's edition, but like Final Fantasy VII's deluxe packs, where it's literally just the plastic case, the steelbook as a collector, and then a soundtrack.
I know that you have one of the Borderlands ones. Three that came with
Yeah.
the ship.
I still have it's a full on loot box like from in game.
Yes.
It opens the same way it opens in game.
I mean, they've always done it as a loot box.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I got Tiny Tina's one because me and Joey, he was working at the GameStop at the time when I got it. That one didn't come in a box like that. Or it might have, and I just threw the box. It was a cheaper made one. That comes with a whole game module of their in-game like Borderlands version of D&D.
But you say it comes with the ship?
Yeah, we could. It's like a full model kit of the ship in 3.
Yeah.
I still been meaning to bring that over. It's in my closet, top shelf, the widest fucking box.
Not saying that I don't like when collector's editions are just like a game in the statue, because statues are cool. But I do like when it's
crazy shit like that.
Well, I like it when it's a little bit more of a. I mean, it's actually both. I like the idea of like, okay, a collector's edition is just a statue that you can put on your shelf and add it to your collection. But it's fun. I like the idea of they're like, we're just gonna make it like an experience to hold the game, and we're gonna add a bunch of like like an experience that holds the case essentially. And there's cool ones like that. And there's like either or that
it
are
also
fine.
it also comes with miniatures for like D&D of the Vault Hunters from that one, Lilith, the 2 villains, Claptrap, and some other like psychos.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of shit.
That is what's really cool about the Metal Gear one, because it is a cool box, but
In
it
a
also contains
statue.
a statue.
But it's
and-
like that's cool.
And so it's all in one kind of like here. That's a great collector's edition.
The Fallout 4 Collector's Edition was the,
the
dopest
Pip-Boy?
shit.
That's yes, 100%.
I don't know how many people
I
actually
still
used
use
it.
that box for like keeping shit in.
Yeah,
Well, also just like that was the coolest thing of like I don't care if I never use it. Having a wearable Pip-Boy is just kind of rad.
yeah, super rad.
Yeah.
I mean, now they have the ones that you actually build that are functional on their own without the use of a cell phone, which
Yeah.
is dope.
Because the other one you just would put your cell phone in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Titanfall 2 helmet is still a good one. I
That's
like,
a great
That's
one.
another great collector's
yeah.
edition.
And so it's like when they're not statues, I like when they do something a little bit more unique. But as I said, statues are cool.
The Titanfall 2 one also came with all the unit patches,
yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
I also like because there's also games.
the Merc and the UMSC. Yeah,
I think when it comes to like because there's always like the big collection edition with statues and shit. I like the good middle ground of like, hey, we're still gonna give you some extra shit, but it's not gonna be like
well, yeah, Starfield
stuff.
you could just buy.
like you could buy the steelbook that just comes with the upgrade and then do like
Well,
download Game Pass.
or like I like the idea. It's like, oh, we're just gonna do a limited time controller.
yeah, shit like that. Really good.
One of my favorite controllers, and it makes me sad that it was for the past generation, not current.
You can use it for the current.
Yeah,
Can't
but it doesn't have USB Type C
Oh, yeah.
on the top, which is annoying. But the Forza Horizon one, which was all clear with like splatter paint,
genuinely one of the
I am
best
so
controllers.
sad I didn't pick
Yeah.
that
Have
up
you
when it
seen the
dropped.
Sea of Thieves one?
Yes,
See, this was really
That
good.
one's incredible.
I think the Forza one might be my favorite, like officially licensed.
Yeah.
Actually, Starfield is pretty
Starfield is
clean,
really
though.
good, but that one brings it's like nostalgic of those old school see-through controllers, but with the like Forza kind of just like it's a little like because Horizon's whole thing is like the like punk rock like we're the weird one next to Motorsport, like we do fuck it, do whatever you want. So like
Yeah.
the splatter paint's cool.
Yeah.
Bring back ice plastic for everything.
Well, 8-Bit Do is because I know you guys thought the Xbox controller or the Xbox keyboard that I got. One sec. I was cutting things with a saw, and I've just been
Just shit
seeing it
everywhere,
all day. But sorry, you like the Xbox keyboard that I got. I put it in Discord and like look and a bunch of people was like, this is the dumbest, ugliest looking thing ever. I'm like, first of all,
Yeah, everything needs to be white and sterile and look like it's not used.
like, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, it actually sounds good. Third of all, it's hot swappable, so I can put whatever keys I want into it. Like, as a guy who is into keyboards, but to be fair, I shelled out to get like
The best fucking
the
keyboard,
only
yeah.
keyboard I will ever use because that's how I am with some weird niches.
I have a problem.
But I love it. 8-Bit Do came out with their Xbox original green
Original? Like the Duke style controller?
No.
Oh, okay.
see-through, like original
okay.
clear green
Like just a
8-Bit
controller.
Do controller.
Yeah, nice.
And it looks very good.
I
Very
have
good.
I have an 8-bit Do controller for the Switch because I got a new one because that one I brought on the cabin trip is broken. So I got a new
Yo,
one.
look
Of
how
that.
good that looks.
yeah, that's
Sick as
awesome.
fuck.
Genuinely one of my favorite controllers they've
Yeah,
got.
sick as fuck.
Because you
Like,
never
especially
really
the-
saw the yellow clear plastic either.
I've never seen that. And the light when you do the Xbox logo that lights up, that's yellow. One controller's like a baby blue, the other one's neon pink, and then the XYAB button is pink with the letter as the blue.
Yeah.
Super fucking clean. And then the controllers on the back are one's pink and one's blue.
Big shout out to Xbox letting you custom controllers.
Dude,
That is
Xbox
just
Labs
dude,
goes crazy. I mean,
It's the best shit.
that's one of my favorite gifts that Carmen
Yeah.
gave me was the one that she was like, help me make the Gundam controller.
Yeah, she was like, "How do we do?" And we're like, "Do this color," and she's like, "All right, cool, thanks." And we're like,
Yeah,
"Sick."
I love it. It's
Yeah,
perfect. And then
I-
I got the officially licensed
Charger.
charger stand, and it just sits right on my thing. I use it for most things. I have, though, with Metal Gear, brought in over my Elite controller, because the thing with Metal Gear Solid is you don't, when you're having like your normal guns out, you can't hold your breath to stop the swaying. And so I need the short
like just
the
quick.
short trigger,
step.
so that I can make really quick shots, because it's like I'm shooting from way farther out than the game wants me to, and I'm like watching it fall, and then right when it lands on that, so I've been needing that for that particular thing.
It costs too much money, but one day I'm gonna break and do it. You can now design Elite controllers.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's too much. That's way too much. But I keep looking. I go.
Well, the coolest part about the Elite controller is the case that it gives you. It comes with, you can either charge it in the case,
or the little stand
you
with
can
magnets and take it out.
You can detach the charging piece and just have it as a stand.
I spend too much money on stupid shit. I have 2 Elite controllers.
I know you have an original and a V2.
Well, the original is broken, so I don't have that anymore. I have
as they all are. At this
they
point.
all are.
No, so I have a regular. I have the V2 black and then a white one. Now the white one I only bought just the controller because that's when they decided to split them into.
Yeah.
You can just get the controller and then buy the accessories later. I was like, I just want the controller because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And so I have. I use that mainly for everything because my aesthetic now for all my consoles is white and black.
I might want for Christmas this year an Elite Labs controller.
Dude, the design looks so good. I want to do it.
Especially because they're metallic thumbsticks. You could have like a gold thumbstick.
Yeah. Dude, I've thought of doing like
so clean.
I have like
so clean.
In my head I have like a 007 style controller with the gold thumbsticks, and then because you can input like words on it. We'll just do 007 on like the little tag right above the like bottom part of the controller. That I'm like, fuck.
It is like, I mean, we did our, check out our episode on controller tier list, but I mean, like,
Xbox just kind of fixed what a controller
Series
should be.
X has become is like, now that you can also do labs, it's like, okay, now
I don't need anything else. Yeah.
Now it's like, it really is like absolute peak. Super S plus.
I mean,
now that Metal Gear S plus plus in Metal Gear.
I have a different controller for PlayStation now. It's another Elite style controller, but it's called a Vitrix, where you can.
I know.
I think I brought it here.
Yeah, you left it here while
BJ was
playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that
you can do fight sticks.
Yeah, I immediately the second I got it, I just switched it to where it's now like an Xbox style. That's all I use on my PlayStation.
Yeah, 100%.
I have the Astrobot controller just because it's an Astrobot controller.
Yeah,
that just sits pretty much on my shelf. And I'm like, I just use this all the time. It's way better. I love offset. I love that style. And yeah, Xbox just kind of figured out what a controller is supposed to feel like. Like 360. I remember picking up a 360 controller, going, this just feels correct.
Sometime in Discord, I was like brought up controllers and how that like I'm just like I was playing something. And I was like, dude, Xbox controllers peak. And then like 2 guys were like,
the DualSense is actually
and I was like, are we really, like, you really think that it feels better with a DualShock or DualSense now?
With all of its useless LEDs and motion sensors.
To be fair,
speakers.
The first time I played,
it feels better, and they're like, sometimes I really like.
It feels great for the hour and a half that you can use it.
Because I'm using the D-pad a lot. I'm like, what game?
Well, that if you're playing like fucking platform, like 2D platformers, yeah. But even then, I'm like, I don't on my PlayStation. That's what I use my Switch for. If I'm being honest, but
that's why the Switch Pro controller is the best all around.
Yeah, the program
like use it for anything kind of thing.
Well, and then you can just plug that in anywhere. Like obviously, because dude, if you get an 8-bit do one, they have that little dongle. Plug into anything else and just there you go.
But works. You could get the 8-bit do one and it could break on a flight and then you're out of a controller at the lake house for a week.
Oh, that's true.
To be fair, I've had that bitch for like years and I just haven't used it in like 2.
It might have been broken before.
It probably was broken way before.
Way before the flight.
Because I hadn't used it in a while because I just started defaulting back to the Smash Pro controller and I was like, this would work, so I'm fine with this. No, the only time PlayStation's controllers started to feel good have been PS4. And then now the 5.
Because the grips were wide.
Thick as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. They're like, we're going to thin down. They're going to taper out. And I'm like, what is this design choice?
To be fair, I don't have the same problem you guys have. I got small-ass hands. So the PS5 controller feels fine. But, like, for me, a big thing with controllers is, like, weight.
Like I'm not trying to, jerk
it off.
Jerk off my controller. Like, I need something to grab, not...
To be fair, you're never holding your control like this. It's like this. You know what I mean? Like that. So I don't know.
But like it's the same thing. It's yeah.
To be fair, anything is better.
I know what I like now,
Yeah.
and it's the Xbox style.
Anything is better than the PS3 like dual shocks.
Yeah,
that
the PS3
plastic
ones were dog shit.
Yeah.
like the PS2, PS3, PS1. Like just what I mean, PS1 was fine because it was
The PS2 one is also good. The PS3 one feels like it's an off-brand. Like
it's like cheap plastic.
yeah,
It was bad. I did not like the PS3 controller at all.
PS3.
Yeah,
We just said the PS3 one was good.
PS4 where it was the thicker one. It was like the two
I liked place. Well, to be fair, I had Gen 2 PlayStation 3.
You had the 6. I think you probably had the DualShock 3, not the 6 axis.
yeah, the six
Yeah.
axis.
So it might have been.
I had I had Gen 2, which was DualShock, and I had the one that was the like the camo pattern one.
Yeah.
which
that
had the best, one of the best tech, other than like an actual textured one. It had this like weird satin feeling to. I don't know how they did it, but the texture of the controller with the like overlay of the camo overlay, it was a really good texture.
I will say I'm glad we live in an age where everybody seems to have figured out like the texturing on controllers.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
So that is a godsend.
Because they had ones that were just way too fucking aggressive, like a little bit of stippling, but the stippling is not like rough stippling. It's not serration. It's on there. It's just bumpiness.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the texture of the current like PS5 controllers because it's a small thing, but like if you like zoom in,
I'd say the two best thing about that controller is that texture and then the inline sticks.
Well, so how they did it with
the actual PS5 one or the one I
The actual PS5
Yeah.
one.
So what they did with it was like Gen 3 controllers for Xbox One is they did the stippling on the back but the plastic, it was still plastic stippling.
Yeah.
Then when they did Series X, they changed it to rubber on the back, but it was stippled rubber.
And those used to be like the
Only
the
Elites had 'em.
upgrade controller.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And they were like, no, this is base.
Now
You're
it's
gonna
like
get
that's
rubber on
gonna
the
be part
back
of the thing, yeah.
that's stippled. And it was like, because you don't want stippling on where your palm
palms,
is. You
yeah.
just want it where your fingers are. Yes. And they nailed it. They fucking nailed it.
The Elite, I still like Pro controller for Switch and the Elite series are like the two controllers. I'm like, I don't care. These are I will shell out for those. The best controllers I've ever used.
Still makes me sad that I don't use my Google Stadia controller as much as I do.
Is it? Can you use it on anything now? Like, is it?
Yeah,
fully...
it's fully cracked. You can put it on pretty much anything.
No, it's not just cracked. It was a officially
source.
licensed web page that they have. They go, here are the steps
to like make it.
and
like, better.
you plug it in. It's in like it's all on a web page, and it goes, all right, connect your controller, and you have to allow like the internet, the web page to access your devices, and then it uploads new firmware onto it, and it goes, yeah, you hold the Stadia button and Y, and it does the Bluetooth pairing, and it completely just changes the
Honestly,
firmware. So now
I'd
it's a
love to
Bluetooth-
get one and customize it.
Yeah.
with different colors and shit.
I think realistically,
I mean-
like that's a controller that like because I'm the type where sometimes I'll just be like, I haven't used this controller in a minute. Let me play this one with this, and then if I don't like it, I'll be like, no, give me the one back.
Yeah,
I
just
like sometimes I'll just be like, fuck it.
Well,
I
with
saw
my
this.
desk setup, it's like I like having everything in its place.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to put another controller there. That's why it's like I don't like having my
Elite
having
over
my
there, yeah.
my Gundam themed one and my Elite there. I'm like, no, I just want to use my Gundam one. But
But
I
the Elite
really
is
need
so
to use
good,
the Elite
yeah.
controller for Metal Gear because of the triggers.
We got to get you for now. Your next gun will be the Elite series. We'll do it as like a char
for
style.
Asable. Yeah, that'd be sick as fuck.
Get
I
it-
hate though that like, I mean, other than GameCube and Game Boy, they didn't do any more like Gundam themed consoles.
Yeah.
Or anything Gundam themed.
I feel like
officially licensed Gundam.
I think at least on the game side of things, Gundam just kind of lost a lot of like merit in gaming because like
I mean,
it's still
100%.
huge, but like
100. I mean, but yeah, it's it's like if because they wouldn't do it now because everyone cares about how much money it would make.
yeah,
And stuff like that because they don't just make a random game off of something that's popular anymore.
yeah.
You might say that's not true, but I think that
I mean, I agree, and it's unfortunate. I wish that those times would come back.
because the issue is like they're not just gonna make like, oh, here's a Jujutsu Kaisen like
Well, case in point, I mean to say, The that last Mummy that came out was a huge piece of dog shit, and out of nowhere they were like, "Hey, we're gonna make a Metroidvania game about this movie," and it was better than the movie.
What?
The Mummy.
Oh,
The Tom Cruise Mummy movie, yeah.
and they did.
It's a game. It's like a Metroid style.
Oh, I have no clue.
It's
about
genuinely
I have
a
it on
really
Switch. It's
good like
awesome.
platformer, yeah. A Metroid style platformer. It's
that.
great.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, to be fair, like I think the. I mean, I don't know if this is true. If the Gundam craze has gone down, but
I mean,
the thing is, though, they're not.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Why would you? Well, the thing is, why would you buy a Gundam PS5 when you just buy like 3 model kits?
Yeah,
for the sake-
well,
you
I'm
know
just
what I
saying,
mean?
like, it's just they're not doing.
They're
like,
now in their own lane.
random.
Yeah.
Here's a random anime that we're gonna do an officially licensed thing on. And
Well,
that just
Xbox
doesn't
will do
happen
it, but
anymore.
like in very limited quantities, like the fucking Sonic controllers. Enter to win, like that's what they'll do, but they
Yeah,
won't
Xbox
mass
always
produce
does
they
them.
made
that,
one.
Yeah, they won't mass produce them.
And then that guy traded them into GameStop.
and ripped all the fuzz out, which is so funny.
Yeah, I really wanted the they made when the Nickelodeon All Stars that Smash clone was coming out. They announced that they were doing Garfield as a DLC character, so they made a Garfield Xbox Series S, and I was like, that's fucking dope, actually.
There's one YouTuber that I've watched like one video essay of him from like old Nicktoon stuff. He apparently is like a massive Garfield fan, and he was pissed that was a one-time thing. He was like, because now it's one of those things where there's now a Garfield thing that I can't collect.
Yeah,
And it's like, damn.
Garfield is like American Evangelion, because just by the amount of stuff that they put out.
Yeah,
that you
fair.
can collect.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think dude, that was what I wanted to do, was Evangelion controller. Like the purple, green, and black.
It's
Yeah.
shocking that they never did special edition Evangelion consoles like that of the new gen stuff. I mean,
they probably just, it's one of those things where they probably want to make sure there's a game. And I don't really know how you can make an Evangelion game that's like, also, this is really cool and fun, and also I want to kill myself. Like,
there's a bunch of them.
I know there are, but not in modern.
You just make Xenoblade Chronicles X again and put Shinji in there.
I still think that I'm gonna get into this because of what I've been playing side too. But dude, Elma should have been the fucking protagonist of Xenoblade X. Like,
I mean, she basically is.
She should have been the playable protagonist.
I'm up to chapter 9. She is playable.
You know, fuck the player character, dude. They do nothing.
Yeah, the player character is just there to like watch Elma do cool shit.
Well, no,
pretty much.
because like every time you get dialogue options. Also, I hate that they pause the game to make you pick a dialogue option. Just have that be a thing that you just press.
Yeah.
But like, it's literally your character is just going like, "Oh, cool, Elma did this thing," and you have to go, "Whoa," or sarcastic comment.
Yeah.
And then like that's it. And like your character doesn't do much in cutscenes either.
The only like I said, I'm at chapter 9. There's like 13 total. My character's done one cool thing, and that's it.
That's the case with So to get into one thing that I've been playing, I've been playing this for a while. I just haven't brought it up on the podcast. I didn't know if I was going to keep playing it, but I've been playing a game called Wuthering Waves. It's like we saw it at the Game Awards, like I think either last year or 2 years ago, but it was one of those like Genshin Impact looking clones, and I was just like, whatever. At the time we saw it, I started playing it because I was talking to Joey about it, and I was like, well, the only reason I gave it a shot was because apparently the devs are like big fans of like Nier Automata and Devil May Cry. And so they're like, we wanted to try to make it feel like that.
If only there was a Nier Gotcha.
The one that's
You
still
fuckers
around.
didn't play it, and that's why you can't play it anymore.
But so I started playing it. Legitimately, it is fun. The first like arc is what you expect out of a gacha game. It's like really kind of stupid story. Just like, look at all these characters you can spend money on. Whoa! Although they did something really cool that Genshin didn't, at least as far as I know, where they'll go, hey, for this story, this character is really important, so they're not part of your team, like for the whole chapter because they're really important to the story bit.
Honkai actually has done that before.
Oh, they do? Okay, good. They're learning. But in similar to Xenoblade X, Genshin Impact's main protagonist is just there to see the other people do cool shit. Like for Genshin, it's them straight up
And
going.
that's ridiculous for Genshin because the whole lore of Genshin is that you're like a god that's been stricken down to earth.
By the way, apparently that character, like the whole bit is, I have to find my sister or brother, whichever one you picked. They're still trying to figure that out, by the way. It's been 5 years.
Of course they are.
Yeah, but like their character, like if you look at any of the cinematics, their characters there just kind of going,
I really need
whoa.
to find my sibling, but I'm gonna killed this guy for the 13th time.
No.
There's way too many bad bitches
Hey,
in this world.
I was gonna say, you say, "Oh, I'm gonna kill." They don't do shit. Like any of their cinematics show all the cool 5-star characters doing cool shit. Your character's off to the side going,
True.
That's it. Wuthering Waves, the game I'm playing, straight up said, "Fuck all that noise." The main character is the main character. My guy in the span of like 4 hours has done more shit than the Genshin protagonist and the Xenoblade Chronicles X protagonist has done in their whole games. They are the important character to the point where in all these gacha games, your protagonist is gonna get sidelined immediately once you get better
as soon
characters.
as you pull a 5-star.
The protagonist is viable for endgame. So already
That's
I'm playing as
incredible.
them, and in the story they gave you a new version of the character that has a new element to attacking for story reasons. And immediately I'm like, oh, I'm just the guy. This is great, and the gameplay is sick. I still haven't bought a single ounce of anything because they give you plenty of shit just for doing open world activities. That I now have a full team of 2 5-stars and then my character. I'm like, yo, this game's fucking rad. And now they've clearly learned because now I'm at the part in the next story arc. Immediately, like my protagonist just speaks more. I don't have to pick every option. And the writing literally was like generic anime plot to what the fuck? When did we get good? I was like, yo, this is rad.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
When the fuck did we guys? I love that movie. But yeah, it's a rad game, and it's really made me hate like a lot of JRPGs like player characters, because that's sadly really like common of just they're just kind of there, and you're gonna see other characters do cool shit, but that's it.
You know, a lot of the time, you know what I feel like that sometimes can be the accidental outcome of is when games don't have live cutscene. What are they called? Like real-time cutscenes.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you'll do this thing where you create a character and you have all these different swords equipped, and they're like, yeah,
we can't do
we
that.
don't really want to do this whole thing where we animate your character with the specific armor that they have on in this. So we're just going to show what all the other people in your party do that's really cool and not have you.
We
in
talked
it.
about that recently in an episode. We had the same conversation.
Really?
Like,
about pre-rendered cutscenes versus like live.
because I remember I brought up Dragon Quest 9.
But I'm saying,
Dragon
I mean,
armor.
okay, I do remember it, but I'm saying I feel like it lends itself to having companies not wanting to do it, where it highlights the people in your party more than you, because they're like, yeah, we're not gonna, because you have this insane armor and this big weapon, and we're not gonna do real-time cutscenes, and we also don't want to pull you out of the cutscene because your character looks completely different than
Or
what you
Square
look like.
Enix will do it where they're like, fuck it, Cloud's got the Buster Sword in this cutscene because it's rad as shit, and then it jumps to gameplay and you've got the weird sword you've had, and they're just like, don't question it. It was the cool ass
I think
cutscene.
canonically, Cloud has the Buster Sword the whole time.
Yeah,
It's
we just get to
player
change- yeah.
influence.
Two things. So, we were talking about Evangelion right after we were talking about Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
So, the new Gundam movie that came out, the Equinox, but it's spelled awful,
with like 17.
finally out on
Equinox.
streaming, and it's made by the guy who did Evangelion.
Good.
So,
yeah.
that's cool. I
You see
saw a
the-
very funny post that was like, the guy who created Evangelion, he's like, I just wanted to make a really cool anime. Don't look into it.
I'm gonna look all into
Yeah,
it.
and then the second thing is, BJ and I and Carmen now have all been watching Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Dude, holy fuck. What was it Tuesday?
Yeah?
Yeah. Dude, what a way to end the night.
But you haven't been introduced to Connor, who is the best character.
Connor, get on this podcast right now. Everyone, all of our...
All of our listeners, go email or tweet at
Yeah.
and whatever Connor.
Yeah.
Get him on.
The first episode Connor's in, they sent him to speed dating, and he's got the sheet with the yeses and nos, and he's marking no directly in front of the women.
She's like, I don't really like nature. I like the hustle and bustle of
Connor
the city.
goes, click, click, no.
And then it cuts to her looking down at the paper.
And then going, and Connor's just like,
Love Connor. Love Tanner. Love Steven.
James. James is a standout for me.
You know, I feel for James. I feel for James really bad. You know that where we left off was right when he asked if he wanted to go on a second date, and she was like,
It's for the best. Have you seen James's Instagram?
no, but
He's got a bad bitch.
really?
And she's all into like the Elfier cosplays. They go to Renaissance Fair all the time.
Oh, James is the. Well, I just think that's the guy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that is good. I have tried to stay away from Instagram,
It's just been showing up.
but I've been trying to stay away from him, so I'm not like see where they're at now. I want to finish season 3, which just came out like 3 weeks ago.
The only thing that I've looked up was that girl Hannah's Spotify or whatever the blonde one.
Oh,
is.
Abby.
Yeah, Abby. And oh boy,
yeah,
the line "you and me could grab a pizza" immediately followed with "you're the light of my life." Bars.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But I've been trying to stay away. I did see Connor's because I just wanted to see like, and he has like 721,000 followers on Instagram, and I was like, damn, he did grow out his beard and it looks really good.
Of course, the lined up look was killer.
Yeah, but he
how's
grew it
it-
out. But
Sorry.
Steven is currently on a date with a baddie. An absolute baddie. She's from Israel, and she was like, I was in the special intelligence division in the like Israeli military. I have a lot of secrets. You're gonna have to find them out. And she was like grabbing his hand all over him.
Yeah, she's like, "Is it okay if I hold your hand?"
And he's like, "It's great."
God,
Love Steven.
Steven's the best.
I know.
How's what's the animator? Danny?
Danny, she's
a
still on
mess.
the same shit.
She's in that.
She
She's
went
on the
out,
same.
there was an episode where she met the voice actor for Invader Zim though. That
Oh,
was-
hell yeah.
that was
Yeah,
cool.
because her and Adon, who she gave a second chance.
Adon is incredible as well.
Love Adon.
They went to a comic convention together.
At
which is where
Pasadena Comic Con.
Yeah, Pasadena.
Hell yeah.
And she went as Rainbow Dash. And he shows up in a Jedi robe, but he walks around the corner and he goes, "Hello there."
In a very good impression.
Incredible impression.
And we were like, we love him. We love him so. And he's like, I'm not sided with anybody. I'm not a Sith. I'm not a Jedi. I'm just a guy for hire. And I was like, okay, cool. Created some lore for himself.
Yeah.
So love,
such a great
I
show.
love Love on the Spectrum.
Genuinely,
So
yeah,
good.
great show.
So entertaining.
I felt who's the Indian kid? Suja
Subodh.
Subodh. How's his been?
He got a girlfriend. He's off the show.
Oh hell yeah, good for him.
Yeah, he was in like 2 episodes. He was like, "All right, I got it."
Was it the redhead and the date?
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, during that
I
date,
don't know if they're still together, but like
I was like during that
To be
date.
fair though, so the episode where he asked the girl to be his girlfriend, they came inside and they were like, she said yes, and the dad started sobbing again because at the birthday party where the mom was like, "This is going to be a big
But
year
the
for
dad
you."
also never speaks. He just cries, and then he goes and hugs them both, and he says, "I love you both."
Aw.
Yeah. We were like, these parents. To be fair, I feel like half of the interview, like the interview process for Love on the Spectrum, is just about the parents.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's probably some of them that are like, yes, I've waited all my life for it to be on a television show, and now like the bane of my life is now the reason I'm do this, so I have to show up as a good mom. So I'm sure that's an aspect of it that's not like 100% real or transparent. But like, I mean, clearly James's parents, they're too old to give a fuck.
They're the salt of the earth.
They are the salt
They're
of
just
the
so
earth.
they're so fun to like.
I mean that gives me like, to be fair, he's like 36 and he's like the dad's like 76, so but I love, they're older and so they don't care. Love James's parents. Tanner's mom is also really good.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a lot of her, but also the whole thing is he lives on his own.
Yeah, Tanner's totally independent.
Yeah, he lives on his own.
I just want to spin off about him and his roommates though.
That's what, yes, 100%. I want the crib shit.
who was the other bitch? The one that we didn't like. The brown hair with her roommate who was fat and eating all the ice cream.
Oh yeah, the girl that
Hannah.
had way too high standards.
Hannah. Yeah, apparently she's also still in season 3, which is crazy.
I mean, she had a date earlier on this season.
He
and
didn't
then it
call her
was
back.
He never called her back.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah, she's not good. She's not good.
It's one of those things where you go, okay, yeah, like I get it, autism, but that's not the type of autism I want to deal with.
Hey, it's not the autism.
Yeah, that's not.
This
It's
show
just
is
her.
this show makes it clear that it's not the autism, because everybody is out there,
And everyone's dealing with like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like.
yeah.
And we're all like, oh, okay, so you're just a good person, but you just have preferences. No, Hannah's just like, no, you're kind of just like
Kind of a
picky.
bitch.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's kind of the same with Danny though. if you don't do these 3 specific things and nothing else, Danny doesn't fuck with you at all.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I've never really enjoyed watching any of the Danny episodes.
I mean,
I like the Danny episodes.
Let's be
because
real.
Danny's fucking hot.
yeah, I was gonna say me and BJ like Danny because we're like,
Yeah.
damn.
It's not because of the content.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you want to say it on podcast, but some of the shit you were saying about Danny,
I don't even remember most of it.
dude, it was like Matt was going, oh my gosh, because both you and me were saying some fucking sus shit immediately
Yeah.
where she walked on, and Matt was like, whoa. Like I remember looking at Matt when he was like at the countertop, and he like went,
It's easy to fold.
What?
I said it's easy to fold.
And as always,
Take it sleazy.